RunBuggy's RunBot AI machine learning innovation works to prioritize operational tasks, predict delivery challenges, and offer actionable insights during complex scenarios. In 15 minutes, Patrick Weinkam, head of data science at RunBuggy, will talk more about RunBot next-generation AI efficiencies, followed by a panel discussion with members of RunBuggy's customer success and operations team. So join the live chat, say hello, make new friends, and learn from the best on ATI Auto Business. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business, Automotive Ecosystem, where everyone learns more about the automotive industry. Let's get started with top industry news and headlines that include Scarlett Johansson, AI voice scams, used car pricing and wholesale squeeze, shipping options, and double brokering. Got a lot of news, going to move fast. At the quarter hour, got Patrick Weinkam, head of data science at RunBuggy. He's going to talk about AI and RunBot. And then we have a panel discussion with Pamela Bishop, Olianna Dean, and Colleen Lindberg with RunBuggy. Let's do this. I am first. I want to ask you, please do leave a like, click share, click copy, grab that YouTube link, tell a friend. Thank you, YouTube and LinkedIn. We're streaming live on both. Please do jump in the chat, say hello, either on YouTube or LinkedIn. This is show 347 in a row. What is RunBot AI? It's logistics intelligence. You know RunBuggy. It's a platform for shippers and haulers. You can go to runbuggy.com. RunBot simplifies and enhances the user experience for all users. So what is it? Let's learn more about RunBot. The AI race is already underway, and so we have head of data science Patrick Weinkam at RunBuggy joining us to talk more and tell us more about how RunBot automates efficiency, and RunBot can talk. RunBot recently said we started working with a new large shipping customer. Notice their orders were moving slower than expected. How does RunBot do that? We're going to learn more about how RunBot does that. We have Pamela Bishop with us now. Pamela is the Senior Director, let me make sure I get this right, Senior Director of Customer Success. Pamela Bishop is with us, and look at that, Edwards Chevy downtown just got signed up with RunBuggy. Olianna Dean, Director of Operations, she's with RunBuggy. Hey, Johnson City Toyota just got signed up with RunBuggy. Colleen Lindberg, Operations Manager. What's Jay gonna say? That's right, Edwards Chevrolet 280 got signed up with RunBuggy. RunBuggy is in social media a lot, sharing information, so it makes sense that as you want to know your ecosystem, we should know more about what RunBot is doing. And the AI takeover is happening. It's not every Tuesday night, but once a month we are now letting AI take over ATI. I've been talking about AI a lot. I've got this short here where David Ray Jr. was talking about software and AI, so look for those shorts. Last Tuesday night, Used Car Factory with Alan. He's the CEO at AIM Recon Reimagined, and if you missed that, there is a podcast with key topics, used cars that never happened before. Fascinating stuff there. Pricing power eroded by affordability, and EV continues to be a thing. Give that a We had Micah Tindor shout out, Cox Automotive, talking about cars underwater, and a YouTube short out on that. In fact, here's a comment. Went in to buy a truck, my usual zero down, excellent credit. The dealership, not the bank, the dealership said, we have people in here with stimulus money. If you don't have that, we won't do anything for you. Nice. Tuesday night, this coming Tuesday, we will have in a week Dealer Recon Logistics and Merchandising, so stick around for that. Industry Logistics is every Thursday at noon. Last Thursday, which auto transport load boards are worth paying for? a controversial list. Actually, it's very similar to what it was before. But for any companies we left out, I'm going to try and make sure that I catch up with more of those company updates in the future weeks. So if you feel left out, send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Go to atiautobusiness.com and ring the bell. Let me know. This Thursday on Industry Logistics, how do I get into hauling new cars for OEMs? And that coincides. We're going to have a couple guests that are at Finished Vehicle Logistics joining live, working in auto transport. You recognize a lot of these companies. You see this now. There are many conferences, and yet, conference after conference, you know some of these names. But what you wonder is, what are they doing there? Are they speaking? Are they sponsoring? What is, in what way do they serve that conference target market? We're going to be talking about that too. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and deliver some auto ecosystem news at 6 minutes after the hour. Now, at the top of the news for AI month, to be fair and balanced, OpenAI disbands safety team focused on risk of artificial intelligence causing human extinction. That's right, OpenAI eliminated a team focused on the risks posed by advanced AI less than a year after it was formed. And a departing executive warned the team that safety has taken a backseat to shiny products at the company. The Microsoft-backed ChatGPT maker disbanded its so-called super alignment, which was tasked with creating safety measures for advanced general intelligence AGI systems that could lead to this disempowerment of humanity or even human extinction. Jay, why are you putting this story? Because I know there are people that are thinking about this, that they think this is all that AI has to offer is human extinction, and that is false. However, fair and balanced, team's dissolution, which was first reported by Wired, came just days after 2 OpenAI execs announced their resignations from the Sam Altman-led company. So we're going to keep an eye on both advancements and extinction and problems. In fact, Scarlett Johansson is shocked and angered by OpenAI's ChatGPT voice that sounds like her. Now, not without irony, she was in a movie called Her, and she was the AI voice. So I guess that's why they thought maybe we'll just use Scarlett's voice. It worked out so well in the movie. In the movie Her, in a near future, a lonely writer develops an unlikely relationship with an operating system designed to meet his every need. Little more than just efficiencies. Nonetheless, choose a different voice. Here's how you choose the best voice for any audio, which is going to be happening more and more. So keep this in mind as you're enjoying listening to ATI. You need a lifelike voice that listeners enjoy listening to and find easy to understand. 7 tips for choosing an AI voice that truly resonate with your target audience. Choose the right language. Think about your ecosystem. Create demos, listen to audio in your niche, support voice actors, get audience feedback, and consider a custom voice like Jay at ATI. However, Jay, AI phone scams mimicking your voice can now be used to scam family, friends, and experts. AI is everywhere, including in robocalls that could be used to scam you. There's a new trend of AI phone call scams in which technology used to mimic familiar voices to fool your family, friends, and soon be maybe flooding your phone. All the scammer needs now is a small audio clip of your voice, and they can create an AI robocall. Hey, can you send me $500? I've been in a car accident here on vacation in Mexico. The AI-generated voice continues. I'm okay for the most part, but I'm in a hospital and I need money for x-rays and treatment. My credit card isn't working. I don't have enough cash. Anybody receiving that call might think it's you and you're in trouble. Now, here's the problem. A bad actor can take your voicemail from your cell phone and replicate that from your voice in as little as 3 seconds. The FTC said it's making AI robocalls a top priority, educating people on the issue. The FTC said the new technology is making what's known as the imposter scam even more convincing. The number one scam for the FTC in the last several years has been imposter scams, and voice clone calls are a form of imposter scams. Imposter scams, any scam where somebody pretends to be somebody they're not in order to gain your trust. So a government agency, a private company like Microsoft, or your friend or family member for the grandparents scam. It's just the start. It's early in the year. We're going to see a lot more and more activity as we get closer to elections. I'm so glad they pointed out. Oh, I'm dreading the elections. Let's keep with the news. Let's stay talking about cars. Used vehicle only list. A glance at the major players plus list shakeups. For some used vehicle only retailers, 2023 was quite a year. Carvana headed into last year facing a lot of doubts about its long-term financial picture. It emerged leaner and more focused on per vehicle profitability than growth. Vroom and Shift saw their revenues and vehicle source soar during COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, there it is. Both evaluated whether to stop buying and selling used vehicles, and CarMax once again outsold everybody, retailing over 765,000 used vehicles in its fiscal year ended February 29th, which, even though they outsold everybody, was down 5%. Stay with me, because I'm trying to do the math and I can't figure this out. Other top contenders, Drive Time Automotive out of Tempe sold over 110 used vehicles in 2023, up 7%. Carvana was spun off from Drive Time as a standalone entity in 2014. 2 years after it started operations, it has operated independently since, though it uses Drive Time for certain services. By the way, CarMax has 245 dealerships. All right. The list also includes Penske Automotive Group's Car Shop and Sonic Automotive's Echo Park Automotive, the used vehicle only labeled and separate businesses of those publicly traded dealership groups. Makes sense. Car Shop at Chester Springs, PA sold over 69,000 used vehicles, which is down 2% year over year. Echo Park, North Carolina, sold over 73,000, up 15%. Sonic in the past year closed more than half of its locations. As we keep going, so we hear this good news followed by this bad news. Good news followed by bad news. Penske negotiating with a potential buyer for some of its car shop locations, plans to rebrand. The retailer's 12 UK locations closing after 1 year. Good news followed by bad news. The list also incorporates 2023 annual sales from 7 other franchise dealership groups with used vehicle only stores: Right Way Auto, Rust Arrow, Number One Cochran, Super Car Guys, Premier Automotive, Auto Services, Drivers Mart. Haven't heard of some of these? Trying to keep up. So Shift, remember, Shift of San Francisco, they filed for bankruptcy in October. Vroom in January, they wound down, stopped doing online used vehicle sales by the end of the first quarter. And when we look at these numbers, here's retail used car prices falling slowly. Stellar, crazy year in 2021. Down by half in 2020. So 2021 really surprised kind of everybody. And that's where a lot of these really great pie in the sky things happened. Because nobody could leave their house. 19, 23, 22, and we are on track for not so much. So riddle me this. Carvana has capacity to recon 1.3 million used vehicles annually and can bolster 3 million. Carvana is bolstering its inspection and reconditioning capacity in its first quarter, delivered its best financial results ever. This quarter, we're talking about this year. CEO Ernie Garcia said Carvana's inspection and recon infrastructure in its first quarter ended March 31 it has the capacity and had its best year ever. Key to unlocking that additional capacity of about 2 million units or unspecified numbers. Okay, that's capacity. That's fine. Garcia said the company did what it said it would do and validated long-term financial model that we put out 6 years ago and clearly lit a path to significant financial gains. In its first quarter of the year, Carvana retailed over 91,000 used units, up 16% from first quarter 2023. Its revenue of $3 billion increased 17% when compared to a year ago. Its retail unit net income of $49 million in the quarter compared to... I don't get it. Wait a minute. But we're on track for not so much. I don't get it. Wholesale used car prices are rising. Retail prices are falling, which would mean profit margins getting thinner. I mean, even CarGurus' digital wholesale platform CarOffer struggled to find its feet in Q1. CarGurus' CarOffer digital wholesale platform continued to operate at a loss in the first quarter of the year. That makes sense. It seems similar to what most other businesses are seeing. Digital wholesale segment, which includes CarOffer, generated $28.6 million, down 56 compared to the same quarter a year ago. In the fourth quarter 2023, then digital wholesale reported losses. This all seems normal. What the heck am I missing here? I don't get it, man. Anyways, Mercedes workers turned down the UAW. Workers at Mercedes-Benz assembly plant in Alabama voted against joining the UAW, a high-profile defeat for the union that, at least temporarily, halts the momentum of a $40 million organizing drive across the South. According to National Labor Relations Board, 56% of the 4,000-plus votes cast in the 5-day election that ended Friday were against joining the union. The defeat came less than a month after the UAW notched its first win in the southern U.S. at VW plant in Tennessee, and they were hoping to replicate it in Alabama. But they faced strong opposition to Mercedes. UAW President Shawn Fain said the loss stings. It's a David versus Goliath fight. Sometimes Goliath wins a battle, but ultimately David will win the war. And I guess in this case, the American workers. We shall see. CarNow joins Amazon Web Services Partner Network. This came out today. CarNow is now part of Amazon's universe. The automotive digital retail software provider announced it joined the Amazon Web Services Partner Network. APN global community of AWS partners leverage programs, expertise, and resources to build, market, and sell customer offerings. Through the APN, CarNow will have access to AWS's generative AI tools, joining a network of 100,000 partners from 150 countries. Huge news. Good job, CarNow. Wow, that's big. Also, Kinetic enhances monthly subscription service with transportation. That's right, Kinetic Advantage is now working with OAV Logistics, One Auction View. And so dealers enrolled in the monthly subscription service can now request transportation service across the U.S., fully integrated online platform. Kinetic with OAV Logistics, Fast Carrier Network, instant quotes, real-time status updates, digital BOL, and more. So that's pretty exciting too. And hemorrhaging money, big brokers and shippers feel the heat from double brokers. I'm not going to go into it because there is a lot here, but the more we hear about double brokering and you've got, the potential for fraud continues to go up as technology accelerates, and there's already been a squeeze between what the shipper's going to pay and what the carrier earns, and then you got the broker in between. So there is a lot. Actually, I think that in RunBot, not only with dispatch efficiency, but secure transactions, has a lot to offer. So let's move into that. Let's find out more. Let's do this. Stick around, because right after the break, we're going to be live with Head of Data Science, Patrick Weinkam of RunBuggy. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The evolution of transportation. In the beginning of car shipping, there were stone tablets and woolly mammoths, very primitive vehicle delivery. Then, horse-powered haulers with mile-long paper BOLs causing enormous time hassle and massive stacks of paperwork for dealers, shippers, and carriers. What were we thinking? But now, with modern technology and cell phone mobile apps, simply click a button, order quick, reliable auto transport to pick up and deliver your cars safely and on time. It's instant car shipping at the best market rate. Start saving money today and get signed up. Visit oneauctionview.com.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verifications of loads? where nobody ever answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021, or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Need help shipping a car or keeping a carrier loaded? Murphy Auto Transport Services is a fully licensed broker and offers professional dispatch services. Visit murphyautotransportservices.com. All right, here we go. Thank you so much. Please do help me wish a very warm welcome to Head of Data Science at RunBuggy, Patrick. Can you see me and hear me okay?
I can see you and hear you.
Great. I can see you. I can hear you. Please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you, and feel free to take it away.
Sure, thanks. My name is Patrick Weinkam. I'm head of data science at RunBuggy, and just real quick about my background. I come out of a mixture of physics and biology, where I got my PhD at UC San Diego and went to work at UC San Francisco. But being in the Bay Area, there were a lot of opportunities in the technology industry, so I jumped into the data center industry, working on similar problems in the world of thermodynamics, but just kept kind of going in that direction and started working on different infrastructure and software and data science problems. And about 2016, I helped start a company that created a virtual assistant for automotive mechanics and technicians. But joined RunBuggy in 2019, 2020, and we've been up to a lot of interesting stuff, which I will share right now. Share my screen.
Perfect. And as you do that too, so that's interesting. So you were working in the Bay Area. I mean, you've got your extension, your experience. You have a lot of tech experience then.
I've been up to it for a while, and in the automotive industry for about 10 years now. So lots going on.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, take it away.
So just first slide is just setting up the stage for what is RunBuggy in general, right? On one side, what we started with is an automotive shipping digital marketplace, right? You can think of it as some mixture between an Airbnb and an Uber, right? We're matching the shipper to the transport company and building a technology that helps facilitate that interaction. But more completely, we're a software and technology company, right? We build transportation management systems. So this TMS for shippers you see down here, it's a software for shippers to manage their own assets. You can manage their own trucks. They're contractors, and they could actually pay them out through the software, or they could hit the easy button and send that order off to the RunBuggy marketplace, right? And then we facilitate that interaction for them through technology and our own operations teams. A big part of that is API integrations, right? These systems, all of the OEMs and the big players in this rely on all sorts of different software systems that need to connect to each other to manage inventory, and maybe it's a Salesforce for facilitating customer interactions, whatever. We interact with all that stuff so that you can keep track of your automotive shipping in a simple way, and the interface for our customers is kind of a no or low code interface, so you kind of manage those yourself, and it has the SOC 2 security, right? So this is a prerequisite to working with a lot of larger companies. And then on the driver side, we have a mobile app that's helps facilitate the shipment. You can do inspections, you can do communications, but also importantly, there are AI-powered recommendations, which I'll share a little bit more about briefly in a bit. But we show what are the best routes for you, and make that easier for them. My next slide is just kind of to answer what is RunBot, we kind of have to talk a little bit about what does our team do, what is the data science of it all, right? Because RunBot's a lot of different things put together, but it's easier to talk about it with respect to kind of different groups of things. So one vertical is load optimization. So that's for every order going from point A to B, what are all the other orders going from a similar point A to a similar point B, and all the properties of the trucks that are required. We call this order grouping. That really dramatically increases the efficiency of shipping if we can get the trucks loaded up more efficiently. So that's a big section. Then we've got targeted sourcing, which is given a specific shipment from a shipper, what's the ideal transport company and truck to pick that up, right? This is a pretty complicated problem, as you know, because transporters have specific restrictions or preferences for what kind of routes they want to do and what kind of trucks they have. And so, and they're not always available, right? So figuring out how to map them together is quite a big challenge we spend a lot of time on. So, a big part of that is figuring that out and then also making that visible to the folks, to the transport companies and the dispatchers, so they can see, here's the orders that we can get, to help us, do our business. There's a lot of data in there. And then there's task prioritization. So, ideally everything gets picked up and dropped off without too much challenges, but there's always, the edge cases. Automotive shipping can get messy. There are, challenges with communication. There are challenges with the vehicles, with the routes, with the pickup and drop off sites. And so we can kind of predict when there are going to be issues, so we can prioritize things a little bit higher when there's a predicted difficulty, or really sometimes it's about exposing information so that our internal operations teams can come in and help facilitate the interaction. I'll talk more about that a little bit. Then on the process optimization side, you can kind of think about this as traditional data science of, we have some KPIs, but you most visibly will see like the driver ratings, kind of like an Uber rating, where each participant in the marketplace gets scored based on how well they participate. And that transparency can help, facilitate interactions. We kind of see, who's performing better, and we uprank them in our algorithms so they get better recommendations. But we can also find out if folks are struggling a little bit, and we can kind of, help them get better in the marketplace. It's really about matching expectations to reality, like an airline. In the airline world, you have first class and you've got coach, and people are happy to be in either, but they're different price points, right? So how do you map expectations to capabilities? And then lastly, but not least, sustainability. So if we're doing, RunBuggy is in an interesting spot, kind of in the middle, facilitating the interaction. So if we're doing our jobs well, we're getting the orders quickly to the transporters so they can fill up their trucks, which means that they get paid better. It also means that the shipments get moved quicker and with less issues, so the shippers are happy. And then our operations team have less issues to come in and fulfill things. So it's really a win-win-win when we do that. And then also, with filled up trucks, there's less empty miles happening, so we can reduce the carbon emissions standpoint. So we measure this type of thing, and if we're doing our jobs well, we're actually winning for the environment as well. So that's an important point to consider. So now, what is RunBot, right? That's the question of the hour. And this is the slide, and it's complicated, and I don't mean to go into full detail on this slide. And this is actually a more simplified version of all the steps in shipping, which can get pretty hairy. But to break it down into consumable parts, you've got the players here, you've got the shipper, and the key thing here is, for the shipper, there's not much going on in this graph, right? They make an order and they send it off, right? The transporter obviously has a lot of steps to do here. There's the inspections and the paperwork and all that. But there's also red arrows going in the opposite direction, because there's issues that happen which send you in the wrong direction. Hang-ups that can happen at any different stage, and that's where our operations team really come in and help if an order is not getting picked up or not, and facilitating question marks. The AI system is really meant to support all the players in this sense, and in different steps. So it recognizes where we're at and what needs to happen. So kind of talked about this. If there's a problem getting a transporter to pick up an order, we can send out messages to facilitate them. We have models that predict pricing and how much it will cost to move an order. We have got scores about how efficiently people are providing ETAs, and so this information just helps facilitate that interaction and kind of grease the wheels, if you will, of automotive shipping and moving things forward. So there's a lot of different steps in here, different pieces that we built. But what the whole thing is with the AI component is that it just makes it easier to access information. So there's an AI chat interface that really just allows you to ask a question and get an answer about anything that's going on here. And that's what makes this really accessible. Because before we were building models and they're sometimes hard to get access to, but now it's just as easy as asking a question and getting an answer. And I'll show some examples of that in a minute. This is my most technical slide, just to kind of give a little bit of an idea for what really it is, right? You know, I kind of, the previous slide was like what it does, but this is what it is. So what we really are is an API interface. So if you ask a question, it goes into our back end, and there's three different kind of worlds of information that is being pulled. Typically, when you hear about someone implementing AI, what they really mean is they're doing, in the last year, it's been very popular to do what's called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. This is where you've got a bunch of documents and it's got all sorts of information. You ask a question, it gives you back an answer to that question, kind of like a ChatGPT. And in our world, this is like software documentation and processes. So if you ask a question about how to do something in the software, it'll give it back to you. It's very popular now and relatively easy to at least start implementing. And as you go down this list, it gets harder. So the next thing kind of world is, this is a software system with a bunch of data, kind of explaining every different step of the transaction, every different communication piece, anything that's happening. So we have what we call like an NLP, an entity matching system, that's taking any question and kind of converting it into understanding, you know, what is the shipper that you're talking about? What is the transporter that you're talking about? What are like the order statuses mean? It's all like kind of the business know-how that is specific to the data that we have, right? So for any question, it actually generates what's called SQL, and it can go into our databases and pull out the important information, whether that be something about the order, the driver ratings of the people moving the car, or information about the tasks that the operations teams are working on. And then the last thing, which is really specific and the hardest thing to do, is custom ML models. So I kind of mentioned targeted sourcing. We've got pricing prediction models. We've got load optimization algorithms, and they're really deep knowledge that a general AI system wouldn't be able to figure these things out. These are like very deep domain models. And so when you ask a question, we're kind of combining all this information. We have an evaluation system that judges itself on whether we're able to answer a question, and then a fulfillment system that combines the information and answers the question. So I'll show some examples of this in a second, but it's really like this combination of different types of data and different types of models working together to provide insights into what we're doing. And I should mention this document management system here. It's really important to keep information accurate over time, and as things are changing, to keep it moving, right? So this kind of document management system, evaluation system here, is really meant to keep information fresh and to assess whether or not things are becoming an issue. And this is, when you hear about hallucinations, coming from ChatGPT or something, the reason for that is there's bad information coming in. So if you have garbage in, you've got garbage out. So a lot of our systems, almost as much as the RunBot itself that answers the question, is the evaluation systems and the management systems that actually judge the information that's underneath the hood, so that we can provide accuracy. Because that's really the hardest thing here, is providing accuracy of the answers. And that's where we spend a lot of our time. So here are some examples, right? So on the left here, you got a picture of the mobile app. You've got a driver in here, and we sent them a recommendation notification here. And when they log in, they see a list of orders that are recommended to them. And these are based on their history with us. It's based on their location of their last known location, based on when they're interacting with us. It's based on how well they've been interacting on the marketplace, and what kind of trucks they have, right? So we're really trying to map that to what they need and what they're good at doing. And then on the back end, our operations team has access to this information as well. And so if they go into an order, they can see, oh, this order is actually pretty challenging. We got to prioritize this. And here's a list of transport companies. If it needs to be sourced, here's a list of transport companies and some information about them that can help us get them that order and get things moving quickly. Here's some internal, I mentioned this chat interface, and that basically we're using Slack right now, although in long term I think it lives in our main software, but this is just where we're at right now. So you can chat with RunBot through Slack, and you can just see here some examples of our past thing. In the middle here, importantly, this is, I kind of mentioned our evaluations framework. This is a thing where we're monitoring when we don't perform well as an answer to a question. Part of the feedback loop of AI systems is identifying where there are holes or where there are gaps, and then going in and reteaching it to answer those questions better. So that's the thing that we have to do, and we built that out to kind of monitor. And then this last thing, this is my last example here. I think this really kind of explains and captures in a single question the value of what RunBot does. It's just understanding the information. So if someone, here Millie is asking, give me an order summary for this order here, and it goes in and it's pulling data from all the different places, whether it be our internal systems, the messages that are happening, or any of the other data systems that we have, and it brings back something that there could be 100 different steps happening in the order, different communications going back and forth, and this is kind of like a cliff notes. It just gets the information that you need quickly, rather than having to go through and do a search and then click and read, and it saves you a significant amount of time. So here, it gives you the vehicle information, it tells you about the gate pass, tells you about any major situations where, here a driver rejected it and had to unclaim it. Any comments that happened in the communications between transporters and our operations team or the shipper, and it can answer all these questions and provide transparency into what's going on. And that's really like one of the biggest challenges is not knowing what's happening, right? So here, providing that transparency very quickly allows us to move forward and get things shipping quickly. So I'll stop there. That's kind of my presentation. I can keep going and talk about a lot of other things, but I'm going to stop there on the slides.
Wow. What'd you say? AI dispatch summary? Is that what that was called?
Yeah, it's order summary, right? It's providing
summary.
and it's really, you can ask about any question going on in the order, but that's just kind of listing it out, right? So,
yeah.
Any kind of hangups, if you're wondering why something's not moving, there's probably a good reason. It's not being ignored. There's some issue going on. The site has tricky pickup drop-off hours or whatever, and there's some back and forth going on there. So it provides that transparency rather than just kind of open questions.
Also, that workflow diagram, I was trying to take it all in. There's a lot there. And workflow diagrams always impress me, because if everybody was able to take the time and focus and create a workflow diagram for the things that they do as part of their process of whatever they do, whether you're picking up and delivering cars or making a sale, or even if you're a mechanic, whatever it is that you do, if you were to try to create boxes and workflow, and if this, then this, it's very difficult.
Yep.
So to do that and then make sense out of it in an AI fashion to arrive at where I can get an order summary, I can tell you as a former dispatcher, I could totally see the value of an instant order summary without having to sift through 15 emails and text messages and all this other data, and then maybe not even find the most current stuff.
Yeah, information gets lost. I think that's half the challenge, is you just don't know what's going on because there's so much stuff happening all the time, so many different orders. So organization of information is a major challenge.
And to add the layer then, if you do need to stop everything and find the current order summary and status, you usually don't have the luxury of stopping everything and finding. You don't have that. You can't do. If you do, if it's all hands on deck, that means something else is getting ignored, because
Correct.
Logistics is an expanding universe.
Exactly.
So that was a really awesome presentation, really full of information. Pamela said in the live chat that you were bringing actual implemented AI, so that was really cool. So let's do this. Do me a favor, stick around. Right after this, we are going to bring in our panel discussion with some RunBuggy folks. And do me a favor, stick around. We'll be right back after this.
AuctionVCommerce is the universal support solution to help brick-and-mortar auctions respond to the needs of digital buyers and sellers with greater efficiency, accountability, and more access. AuctionVCommerce is a bridge between the dealers of the past and the auction of the future.
Transport Auto Quoter is by far the leading auto quoting software on the market, and the only auto quoter with a pro version that comes preset with accurate pricing for anywhere in the US, so you don't have to worry about it. The best part is that no change with your current software is needed. Just plug TAQ in and start booking jobs. Carriers can easily plug TAQ into their current websites and start making money right away. I bet you're wondering how we do this instantly and accurately 24/7. Well, constant analytics is the key. Our PriceWatch team is constantly monitoring current market conditions, paying close attention to seasonal and quick-moving industry changes. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time and data to maintain good pricing, time that most of us just don't have on a daily basis. So free yourself up. Using TAQ Pro is really a no-brainer. Save time and money, maximizing your leads and optimizing your online investments. You'll finally be able to sleep well at night knowing that TAQ is on the job selling for you 24/7. Never missing a potential job.
Don't lose any more sleep worrying about missing leads. Get Transport Auto Quoter to quote the right price the first time, every time. Run your business with TAQ. Visit transportautoquoter.com. Link is in the live chat. Please do help me wish a very warm welcome to Pamela Bishop, Olianna Dean, and Colleen Lindberg with RunBuggy. Can you see me and hear me okay?
Yes. See ya, Jay. And I hear ya.
All right. See ya, hear ya. Great. We will do this. We will go in order of Pamela, then Colleen, then Olianna. Pamela, kick us off. Please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hey, everybody. I'm glad to be back. Thanks for having me back, Jay. I am the Senior Director of Customer Success at RunBuggy, and I make sure that the shipper experience goes well from beginning to end. I work very closely with my counterparts here, with Olianna, Dean, and Colleen. Pat, we also work closely together. Thank you for bringing RunBot to life. It makes our days so much easier, and we're excited to talk about it. Over to you, Olianna, or Colleen, either one.
Hi, I'm Colleen. I am a ops manager for the consumer team at RunBuggy. I've been in the logistics industry for almost 8 years now. And anyone that knows me will find it very ironic that I am talking up something that is AI, because I used to be super, super leery, but I'm all about RunBot. Like, I was very excited to be able to beta test it, very excited to talk about it and how it's made my job and my life easier here in logistics. So, Olianna.
All right. Thank you so much, Colleen. Olianna.
Hello, Olianna Dean. I am Director of Operations at RunBuggy. I oversee our business-to-business and consumer and white glove verticals. I've been with RunBuggy for about 2.5 years. Love every minute of it. My background is really in team building and process efficiency, so this is like right up my alley. It's really awesome to see how quickly it's added value to our operations team. Jay, you know how much goes into dispatching and moving cars, and so it's been a great thing to see that some of that lift taken off the team and get them focused on building relationships with transporters and shippers.
I'll
Happy
just
to
say,
be here.
I'll just thank you so much, Pamela, Colleen, Olianna. Great to have you, Patrick. Thanks for that great presentation. I will just say this: in dispatching, there's nowhere to go but up. Right? It's as complex and as hard as it gets. So some AI has got to help, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be helpful. So
I
yes,
mean,
yeah, take it away, Please.
Think about all the tribal knowledge that exists, Jay. Like you've done that. You've trained dispatchers. You've got your dispatcher training, and think about the impact on the day-to-day operations to be able to consolidate that tribal knowledge into a central location that's accessible and updatable in real time. Like it's really cool. RunBuggy and Pat's team is doing amazing things and well ahead of the curve in the area of AI. And actually, to Pamela's point in the chat, actually implemented AI where it's doing some heavy lifting for our operations team on a daily basis.
Yeah, one of the challenges is that a lot of the information that comes in is messy, right? If everything was perfect and everyone was using software and doing transactions 100% there, it wouldn't be so complicated. But there's a lot of stuff where it's a message here, a note there, and someone doesn't even put it in the system. They're just calling you on the phone. Getting all that information together to make everything work can be a challenge, right? And this is where AI helps kind of make sense of this thing over here, that thing over here aren't matching. What's going on? And kind of elevating that situation. So.
Yeah, to Olianna's point, having that tribal knowledge just all in one area, I always use sourcing as an example because sometimes our orders don't move organically and we have to go out and we have to find a transporter to help us move it. I could spend hours just with all the different tools, like, let me look here for somebody, let me look here for somebody. Having it all in one place, all consolidated, all kind of like vetted out, like here are your top hits, here who we think is going to be the best fit for this load, for this move, has been super helpful. And then again, to not have to go looking for other loads to go with it, to have the AI just present that to us. Because, anyone who's ever done dispatching knows if you've got a 10-car hauler, you don't want to go across the country for one car. If I call you for one car, you're going to probably ask me for 7 or 8 more. So the fact that RunBot can just give that to us right out the gate rather than us scrambling to try and find it has been super helpful. And makes us a lot more efficient. We can get through a lot more stuff, touch a lot more orders, move a lot more cars at one time because it's all right there for us.
And on top of everything else, Jay, I think you want to talk, but you are on mute.
I'm so glad I'm muted. Good. That's good. You go.
We're working on our lip reading. All right. Also, it's really neat because, aside from how it benefits us internally, especially, where we are in transport, where the industry is, our CEO, Kevin Malik, recently talked on another podcast about the driver shortage, but really it's just a shortage in being able to find the right cars, find the right load to move. And we have transporter partners that reach out to us and say, hey, I really love working with you, but I need to make sure I'm not missing a car. I'm not missing a load. And RunBot does that for our transporter partners who are so very important to our success and to the shipper experience. So for transporters to be able to get a notification via text or email of orders they actually want to claim, because RunBot knows this transporter moves these orders, that saves the transporter time and makes them more money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're all about, is making sure the shipper has a great customer experience and that transporters are making the money because they are hustling day in and day out.
Yeah. I mean, just think about the time that dispatchers and drivers spend scrolling through load boards, just searching for the right load.
Ding.
What if RunBot took all that lift off of you and you didn't even have to really go because you know that RunBot's going to give you the loads that are going to work for where you're running today and the type of equipment you're running with today. So, yeah, really.
So that's
Pamela hit the nail on the head with that one.
And that's where I'm going to jump in. Okay, the proactivity is so like proactivity of a resource center, proactivity of searching for loads, of calling for, if you're going to call, that's a big one. We talk about this on dispatching on Thursdays, me and Sue do, and that is that if someone's going to get a phone call about a load and it's not really relevant to what the size of the truck, where the truck is, it's almost like we wish you hadn't called, right? But if you're calling with, or not even calling, how is this happening? Are you getting a text? Is anybody calling, or are you texting, or both?
We are still calling because it's sending us
calling.
recommendations. So,
Okay.
And if say like, we haven't gotten to sourcing yet, because again, we're about scalability, right? We need to be able to scale. That's what's really important to our customers on the shipping side, right? And so it's going to notify them first, right? Via text and email. And then, yes, there may be additional calls that go out. We're continuing to expand who it notifies, right? But we want to make sure that we're expanding it responsibly, right? So that's something that we're doing. Also, RunBot, the great thing about RunBot, it's always learning. It's our little RunBuggy toddler. We're teaching it every day.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
RunBot.
Yeah. It's still a baby.
I think about Jay, you were talking before we joined about AI and the fraudsters, all the scammers that are popping up. They're leveraging this technology to infiltrate systems and do different scams. But think about the flip side of that. I'm an optimist by nature. And I'm like, think about all of the things that it could predict, the risks to security that it could predict and alert you to in real time versus finding out later on, oh, this person doesn't have the right licensing or coverage, or who knows, sky's the limit. But we're really going to be able to leverage our RunBot that's grown up to start to predict some of these security risks and implement mitigation factors to overcome them. So, yeah.
I'm glad you pointed that out. One of the sub headlines I read, which was speed of need of a shipper and a carrier is benefiting fraudsters. But if AI is able to think smart that fast, then it can get ahead of what the human beings are missing. And that seems like a real opportunity for AI to assist. And that I think I like that you're an optimist. That's good. I mean, that's the way to look at this. I had that negative news because it's out there, but in this section of development, I agree. I see a lot of positivity. I'm an optimist with AI and dispatching. That's why I wanted to talk about RunBot, Pat.
Yeah, and just to follow up on the fraud thing, sometimes it's not even a fraud. It's just people are unaware that their behavior is having a negative impact, right? So having transparency, I almost think about it more about transparency than about, detecting, bad people or whatever, right? But providing that feedback loop allows people to figure out, oh, you know what, I should be doing this, I should be pressing this, giving you the ETAs more accurately or whatnot. Like I've been slipping a little bit here and there. And that provides a better experience for everybody, right? And then you have a better ecosystem, which serves everybody on all sides of the transaction. So.
But it's true. There you go. So, yes, being aloof or not knowing or just being new leaves the error, which could become fraud, open. You've got a new employee that doesn't know what shoplifting looks like in its very early stages, where a veteran would be like, we're headed for shoplifting right now, and they jump in and make a move. And the AI assists what an otherwise new person couldn't see about to happen.
Right.
Goes back to centralizing that tribal knowledge that exists, that it really takes years to learn this business. I mean, we're all still learning every day. So if there's a way for our teams to be able to easily access that information in real time, it's game changing.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, literally, our tech and our tools and our knowledge base, it's changing by the day, even by the hour. And so to keep everyone up to date on the best strategy, the best tools, the best way to do things, RunBot helps us all do that. So yeah, Pat talked about Slack and using it as Slack, but that's a very temporary thing. Like we literally have RunBot in RunBuggy. It's in RunBuggy for us to use internally. And, just as a teaser, we have our transportation management platform, right? We have our transportation management system that, anyone can use to have that one pane of glass, right? To manage all of their transport. And as they build up their own data, they will also be able to use RunBot in their system. So it's not just for us. We're going to share it. So don't worry. We're going to share it.
It's in the works for shippers. So they can get access to everything about their orders, as well as ask questions about the software application and get quick answers to their questions.
Okay, let's talk. Okay, I like this the tribal knowledge. Good job, Olianna. That's a great way to talk about. And thanks for just being aware that I did the dispatcher training series. Yeah, I mean it's 9 hours of stuff. How's anybody going to search through all that? You can create a resource center of information, but if I can ask RunBot to put me in the right direction without me having to search through all the indexes, right? Now we're really talking. And if you can do that for the shippers and the dispatchers and carriers in whatever it is they're looking for, are you saying then that, here comes the curveball, are you saying that internally you can talk to RunBot, kinda?
Yeah.
Really?
Our teams talk to RunBot all the time.
Wow.
We're teaching him. Like Pamela said, he's our toddler. You got to talk to him. You got to teach him. He's learning all the things.
Wow.
You can kind of think about RunBot as a team member, right? He can take questions and give answers, but he can also push out information. I'm saying he, but whatever.
I was thinking about that. Is it a
maybe
he?
it's not a he? I don't know.
I feel like it should be a she, right, ladies?
Could be a she.
Amen.
Who runs the world?
RunBot's sending out information as well, right? Like here's the recommendations. Here's orders that have issues right now, right? It goes back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going back to the beginning of the news. Does RunBot have a voice yet? I'm going to guess no, right?
We
haven't said it on. We haven't said it on anything.
Does it have an actual voice? No.
Have you done any voice demoing? Have you tried Scarlett Johansson? I just put.
We have not.
No. Okay. Anyways,
That's why we don't know the gender.
Maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I don't know.
These options, but it gets fascinating. Well, this is what's.
You want to do the Skynet thing?
Maybe for backhauling, right? I'll be bought.
The optimist.
There you go.
The optimist.
It depends on the type of response. Could be. That's fascinating.
Maybe you can pick your gender. Maybe you have to have options. I feel like that would be.
I like the iPhone.
That'd be more inclusive for everyone.
Maybe after a while, RunBot determines what kind of tone would be helpful to you.
Oh, you definitely want a soothing tone. I mean, logistics is stressful.
At the end of
But
the
sometimes
day.
you need a prodding, and then Arnold Schwarzenegger, you need to pick up the load, whatever. So
I'll be back.
What is the GPS? It's like redirect.
We're in our final minutes. In that, I think there's another show. There's a follow-up show here. Which, there'll be some ask RunBot. Hey, RunBot, what does the follow-up show look like? So I know there's more, because what Pat showed under the hood, and then this conversation. Oh, by the way, we're sorry that Charles couldn't join tonight. Charles is a car hauler. He wasn't feeling well. But Pamela, you were saying, so how does Charles interact with RunBot today?
So he was already working on our platform. He reached out because he's like, I really love working on using the RunBuggy platform. It's so easy. I mean, it's free to sign up. I can find loads, but he's like, I don't want to miss anything. Like, I'm up in the, Maryland, Virginia area. So check out Lemon's Hauling Services. We're still going to advocate for you, Charles. Even though you're not feeling good, check him out. He is a gem. We love working with him. He's a great partner. And we love that he gives us his feedback. Because right after he asked that, we had started, sending out the notifications, and I said, how are they going, Charles? And he goes, I love them. literally keep the notifications coming. I never miss an order. I never miss a load. I love it. He gets it, via text, gets an email. You actually have the choice, transporter partners, to go in and adjust your notifications. If you want to get them, you don't want to get them. Maybe you're in a really dense area and you're just like, okay, I'm good. I've got it down with RunBuggy. But for those of you who are in areas maybe where you really want to make sure you never miss it, you can get the text or the email and you can easily go in and claim your order and be on the road, making that money, getting your hustle on.
Charles is an awesome guy. And so I'm glad, thanks for that shout out. And okay, so let's do this. Let's do a little bit of business. We're at the end. If somebody, a carrier, a shipper, wants to get involved and learn more, how do they contact RunBuggy? What's the most direct way?
You can reach out to us. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Olianna.
They can call us. They can email us. We are always available. support@runbuggy.com. You can log in to go ahead, Pamela.
I was just backing you up. I was just backing you up. 7 days a week. 7
days a week. Our team is willing and able to help anyone who needs help, whether it's a current transporter who wants a load or has questions on a load, or wants to sign up with us, or shippers. We're here to help in any way we can. You can find all of our information at runbuggy.com. You can email us at support. And yeah, we're always here to help in any way we can. We pride ourselves on our communication and availability support our transporter partners and our shipper partners.
So we got, go to runbuggy.com. You can go to support@runbuggy.com. Is there a phone number I can put in here? No,
there is a phone number. Colleen, what's our phone number to support?
I know my phone number off the top of my head, but I don't know
I'm going to tell you right now, Jay.
Name.
Curveball of the show. Phone number.
It's like when you're in a 911 emergency and they're like, who should we call? And you're like, Mom. M-O-M. It's in my cell.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Call Mom at RunBuggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it. It's 1-888-872-8449.
8449.
You can find that on our website.
888-872-8449. Nice.
That's on our website. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And you go to runbuggy.com and support@runbuggy.com, just in case, there's somebody right now that is ready to go.
We're so used to giving out our direct numbers. You're like, call me.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, right? But
our direct numbers are all bad. He'll answer them for you.
Our direct numbers are connected to our phone system. So we want to be able to be available at all time, whether it's our frontline customer service agents that are there to help you, whether it's one of our operations specialists, one of our customer success managers. We're all here to help. And so we make sure that we are connected in every way, phone, email, Slack, Teams, however you want to connect. RunBuggy is ready to connect with you. And we're all on LinkedIn. So if you have a question, just reach out to us, shoot us a message, and we'll get back to you right away.
One of the things I'm just going to say, so we don't know what we don't know. And that is that, as a company, you all know each other. You see each other every day. And I'm great to have you here. People can see you and hear you and get to know RunBuggy more, so that if they do reach out, if they go to runbuggy.com, when they call 888-872-8449, now they know some of the names and the faces. Let's say you don't know what you're doing, or you really know what you're doing and you want to cut to the chase. Who do you want to talk to? Do you want to talk to customer success? Do I need to talk to operations?
If you call our phone number, we will get you to the right person.
Okay, all right.
We all work together to get you to the right person as quickly as
possible. All right, that's good. So carriers and shippers, everybody's encouraged to call, because you have loads. And as I also showed in the news segment, you keep sharing on social media all these businesses that you're signing up. What are you signing them up to do? What are you doing for them? You're moving their cars.
Mm-hmm.
Or the transportation management system. So if they want to just have that one pane of glass, that one space where they can manage, one rooftop 10 rooftops, 1 auction, 20 auctions. If they're all over, they can use our marketplace, right? So marketplace is free to sign up, and you can, start shipping orders today, right? Tonight, if you'd like. And then RunBuggy One, that's for any consumer out there. Anybody needs to ship a car, I swear that, like, people who get into logistics, they're like, I never knew how to ship my own stinking car. I bought a car and I wouldn't know how to ship it. So we have RunBuggy One, and you can ship one time and you're not charged until it delivers.
Oh, wow. So the light bulb just went off for me too. I did not know. And I think you told me before what RunBuggy One is. And this is where, as again, I play Captain Obvious, is that, again, with what we don't know is that sometimes we did know something and we forgot. So then you just told me again. And this is actually why I believe in repetitive marketing. Because even though I may have known, a month ago, I forgot, and I need to be reminded, and I need to be updated. And it needs to be easy, and I need to just be able to pick up the phone and, get my blankie, and everything's taken out. And everything's okay, Jay.
But see, Jay, that's why you need RunBot, because when you forget that information, that's what we use RunBot for. We go and ask, I should know this, but RunBot, where do I find, how do I do this? And now we have someone to tell us.
And RunBot doesn't say, I already told you this 500 times.
Yeah, no judgments. We turn that off.
Judge for yourself.
Judgments turned off. That's it. That's awesome. I want to thank you all so much. Patrick, Pamela, Colleen, Olianna, again, Charles, we're sorry you couldn't join us. Please do take notes, run it through RunBot, and let's come back for another round with an update. I don't know when, but keep me posted, okay?
Let's do it.
That was great. Great job. Thank you so much. Here comes another applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody. Good night, RunBot.
Hey, guys.
Okay. See you later. That was awesome. That was a great show. Thanks so much. That was really fun. And informative. Who knew AI could be so much fun? I didn't know. Did you know that? And I didn't know very much about RunBot before, but now I've learned quite a bit. And thank you so much in the live chat. And I think a collab is in order. I think it's been about, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Still running strong. Show, what is this? I honestly, as I put these shows together, I'm blown away. I'm on 347 in a row on a Tuesday. That is crazy. Crazy. So next week we're going to do dealer, recon, logistics, merchandising, how all those verticals overlap and affect each other. And as I know, because there's nothing to wonder about the success of Carvana. Still, there's this need to get our cars fast, get them through recon fast, get them merchandised fast so they can get sold fast, so we can squeeze every dollar out of that lemon. I guess I don't worry about that at Carvana. Don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Let's just have another, I don't know. Another billion rolled, really? Another billion just rolled in? Cool. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. One Auction View, Murphy Auto Transport, AuctionVCommerce, Superflow Systems. Thank you, RunBuggy. Great show tonight. Here comes the car hauler. We'll see you. Join us Thursday on Industry Logistics, and we're going to be talking about how do I get into hauling new cars for OEMs. We'll have a couple guests live from Finished Vehicle Logistics. Here comes the car hauler. See you soon. Good night, everybody. Thank you.